Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's Wargame World. And today we're going to talk about 54mm plastic figures conversions. Now I do conversions, Derek does conversions in the Nottingham group, and Chuckleheads. Lots of people do 54mm conversions. We got a request from one of our guys in one of the No Stress Wargaming group. I didn't ask if I could use his name, but he lives in Georgia and he's a truck driver. And he asked about conversions of Civil War figures to Spanish American War or Box Rebellion. So sit back, relax, and see how you can actually get plastic to stick with plastic. All right, let's get working. All right, everyone, let's see how I'm doing here. We're going to take a BMC artilleryman, and we're going to cut his head off, and we're going to turn him into a Box Rebellion artilleryman. Now, real quick, this is a Civil War BMC figure with a BMC Spanish American War figure's head that I removed, and I have a Spanish American War Spanish gunner. I did the same with the Confederate artilleryman in that BMC kit carrying a bucket, and we cut off his head. And these I painted. You can tell they're not as detailed as a great Jim Shaw would do, or his granddaughter. And I did these quite a while ago. This is a Confederate artilleryman or a Union artilleryman with another head cut off. All right, now some of you are also wondering about the 54mm Lewis gunners. These Lewis guns were 3D printed by Josh. They only cost a couple dollars. And then the rifleman, I cut the rifle out and I glued the Lewis gun in. Jim Shaw painted the figure. We did two. Now, I've had a couple people in my French Foreign Legionnaire games, and they've actually said they're wearing the wrong uniform for the Lewis gun. They would have gone to khaki by then. If you're playing in a fun 54mm build game, sometimes you just have to look past some of that and just roll dice, move big plastic figures, and have fun. Okay, so you know what we need to talk about is glue. All right. For those of you that are older, you know how hard it was to glue that stupid Airfix plastic to other pieces of Airfix plastic. It would not melt. E6000 does a pretty good job. Liquid nails will not, nor will Elmer's glue. But liquid nails works on a lot of things. So our first project part is we're going to snip off heads. So, and how we're going to glue those heads on is E6000 Premium for plastic. Disclaimer, this really smells extra bad compared to the irregular E6000. They also do make an E6000 that's quite expensive that has very little odor. So we're going to take one of many trimmers that you could use, but believe it or not, I like the dog nail trimmers myself. So we're going to take our artillery figure and we're going to get ready to snip his head off. So we're just going to place his head in here, and no more head. Oops, sorry about that, everyone. And I lost it. I gotta stop the camera and find out where it rolled to. It's like the French Revolution here. Welcome back, everyone. Well, we have one head. And yes, it did roll around. So that's been taken off from our body. And you may want to save the head for something else. Now, as you see, I might have a little flash on here, so we're going to just trim that off, and a little piece of sandpaper or a file. So we got that down pretty good. So, now there are some Box Rebellion figures. These are figures by the company called Plastic Toy Soldiers, Armies in Plastic. These figures sometimes need extra treatment, by the way, for their to stick for paint. So just be aware of that. Their release agent must be really deep. So we're going to use this figure here, and we're going to put this head, and as you see, I got it wrapped right around there, and it snipped right off. So now I have a little Box Rebellion head. Okay, now, and Donald Featherstone has a conversion of figures. You could take a pin, warm it up, and stick the pin in here, or a small nail, and then take your head and put on here also for extra stability. Okay, however, I'm thinking I'm going to be okay with just taking my trusty E6000. Now I need to know who watched any of my videos this past weekend. I was at Jamestown Settlement, had a wonderful time. I was in Gloucester, Virginia, making a donation, because remember, every time you watch this channel, you are literally making a donation. And right now you're making a donation to the Weiss Fork Battlefield and Kingston, North Carolina. And that's who this money is going to go to for YouTube. So we have a Box Rebellion head, and boy, this new E6000 for plastic, it works great. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of turning with this little head, and there we go. Now when this dries, it needs a good 12-24 hours, and then when I paint it, I'll make sure it's extra good for covering up the cracks and nookies. All right, everyone. So this is how it looks, and by tomorrow night, that'd be nice and dry. 72 hours really is the best thing to do. And then, it's not perfect, but in Bill's world, as many of you know that watch my videos, things don't have to be perfect. They just have to be fun. And at times, fun means a lot, especially when you get older. So my next project is going to be just to touch up the figures that I got from the great author and historian Mike Pence there, or Priest, and the author of the Gettysburg books and Antietam. We're just going to touch up the silver, a little bit of the bayonets, and then we will gloss coat them. I decided to go with gloss and not flats, I think, to get that H.G. Wells Britain look. So I have a lot of figures to just touch up. I got the paints here, and I'm very excited about getting that done, because I'm going to have you guys decide. Do we do a Civil War battle in the coming weeks in 54mm, or do I do the Fort William Henry in 54mm? So I think because I'll be getting these French Indian War Rev War figures done, I'm leaning towards Fort William Henry. So I think this little mini video dedicated to our truck driver in Georgia, who asked about this video specifically. What did it take me? 5 minutes. So you just swap heads and off you go. And it can work pretty much for anything that you need. And don't forget, a lot of figures now are available in plastic, so conversions aren't quite as needed as they used to be. And one thing that Derek does a lot is he'll switch arms with different weapons at times to get different poses and styles. Well, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing to the Weiss Fork Battlefield Fund. That's what this video is going to help out with, and we are at $180.09. So Goober the Traveling Bear and I thank you. And for those of you that have been watching a lot to help that fund, Mr. Wade, historian down there in North Carolina, and Matthew and Keith, they all thank you too. So stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Thank you for watching again, and have a great day. And there'll be another Bill video coming up sometime in the next few days.